Fall has officially arrived, and Lake Orion residents were invited to an event that celebrates everything the season has to offer. The Walking Dead roamed the streets of downtown Lake Orion to terrorize diners and to raise funds for a good cause. The day-long music festival known as Palooza featured 6 talented bands who helped make the world more accessible to those with special needs. And the Lake Orion Dragons varsity football season has gotten off to a rocky start. Coming up, we'll have highlights from their game against the West Bloomfield Lakers. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. I'll have those stories and much more on this edition of ONTV News. The first day of autumn landed on Monday, September 22nd, but Lake Orion residents got a head start over the weekend at an event that celebrated all the things the fall season has to offer. On the afternoon of Saturday, September 20th, carloads of families arrived at Camp Agawam to take part in Orion Township's Fall Festival of Family Fun. Visitors arrived early for the free event to take a wagon ride to a pumpkin patch where they could roast marshmallows and make s'mores. Vendor tents offered games and crafts. There was a petting farm, food, and a whole lot more.
Absolutely happy with the turnout. We had customers in the parking lot waiting for the event to start about 45 minutes before the event started. So, yeah, that's a huge compliment.
Orion Township purchased the former Boy Scout camp in 2014 for just over $1 million. The 140-acre property offers lodges, campsites, trails, and beach access to Tommy's Lake. In 2018, Orion Township celebrated the camp's 100th anniversary by building the Kaboom Playground.
Camp Agawam is near and dear to me. When the township decided to save it from development and keep it as green space, I think that was probably one of the best decisions for Orion Township in the last 15 years. It's just amazing that we have this kind of green space in our community available to us. And of course, it is the perfect place for a fall event because look at the trees. Look at this, it's just perfect.
Next up on the calendar is the Made in the Midden Art and Craft Show, scheduled to take place on Saturday, October 4th, beginning at 10 a.m., followed by the always popular Boo Bash, scheduled for Friday, October 17th at 5 p.m. Both events will take place at the Great Lakes Athletic Club on Baldwin Road. For more information, visit orionparks.com. If you happen to be passing through downtown Lake Orion recently, you may have been surprised to see the Walking Dead roaming the streets. There's no need for alarm. The annual event has become the unofficial start of the Halloween season. On the evening of Saturday, September 20th, approximately 30 participants gathered outside of Ed's Broadway Gift and Costume for the annual Zombie Walk in the downtown Lake Orion area. Some arrived early to have makeup applied, and at 8 p.m., the March of the Living Dead was underway.
No brains here, move along.
One thing I will say is I never know how many zombies are going to show up because we don't sell tickets to it or anything like that. Fortunately, we talk to all the different restaurants and they work with us, and also the American Legion, and then they like this year, Irish Tavern, Sick Pizza, who took over 313. They put some appetizers out for all the zombies, and everybody usually buys a drink or two from them. And then we get down to the American Legion, and the same thing there. They, also, have food for all the zombies, and then people get a few drinks there. And then on the way, we just kind of zombie walk down the street and everything.
Started in 2014, the event began as a birthday celebration for Lloyd Coe, owner of Ed's Broadway Gift and Costume. Lloyd and his wife Kathy decided to turn it into a fundraiser, benefiting the Orion Lighted Christmas Parade. Money is raised through registration fees and an optional 50-50 poker run.
It's great. It's another different part of the community coming out and supporting something that the community loves. A lot of these people have been in our Christmas parade, different costume characters and stuff like that. So it's unique, and what's even more unique, like you and I are standing right here and we're watching all these people go by going, what's a zombie walk? Or they look, and some of the zombies follow them around. So I mean, it's a lot of it is just fun.
Not only do Lloyd and Kathy Coe raise money for the parade, they also provide costumes for the dozens of characters that appear in the popular event.
What Lloyd and Kathy Coe have done is they've made the parade because of them getting the costumes that we need. They research it by going to Disney World, from what they tell me, to research it, to find out what characters are needed. They find the people, they bring them in, they get them lined up, so that way they know who's going to be what during the parade, and we couldn't do the parade without them.
The Orion Lighted Parade is scheduled to take place on Saturday, December 6th, beginning at 6 p.m. in downtown Lake Orion. A fundraiser known as the Holly Jolly Folly traditionally takes place the night before at Golling Buing GMC. For more information, visit orionlightedparade.com. As the concert season winds down, local music fans were invited to come out for one last major bash, which also raised funds for a great cause. On Saturday, September 13th, Orion Township's Wildwood Amphitheater was the site of the day-long music festival known as Palooza. Started in 2014, the annual event raises funds to help the Daisy Project in their goal of making the community a more accessible place for those with special needs.
Our mission is to create more inclusive spaces for special needs kids and their families, so that's always what our money goes back out into the local communities for. Lake Orion, but also our surrounding communities that might need some help. People reach out to us often and say they need this or they need that, the Moby mats or help with a playground or even sometimes just advice. But we would like to get some new swings at Friendship Park, because that was our original mission, and it's been, 12 years or so, yeah.
One-ton trolley kicked things off at 1 p.m., followed by Ember and Ash, Levi Bootcut and the Straight Legs, the Gasoline Gypsies, and the Native Howl. The day came to an end with a performance by Sunset Boulevard at 9 p.m.
Huge turnout. We've been trying to reduce the ticket cost to get the early birds kind of come in and getting their tickets early. And we did sell, I think we sold close to 500 tickets, which, when we first started, it was 75 tickets or something like that. So, and I do think this year, obviously, the bands have a lot to do with that, because the bands that we have this year have huge followings, and we appreciate them all coming out. So.
In addition to live music, visitors enjoyed food and fun activities thanks to a wide variety of sponsors.
Lots of great vendors this year, lots of free activities, which we do every year thanks to all of our amazing sponsors. The henna, the face painting, great vendors. And then obviously this year we kind of switched it up a little. Mama's Taqueria always comes back. They're amazing. They love to do it. I talked to Ruben, the owner, earlier, and he's like, every year, I love coming to this. I love the cause. And then we always try to support new food trucks to see like what everybody likes. And so, yeah.
If you missed the event, you can still make a donation by visiting thedaisyprojectmi.com. Here in Lake Orion, there is no shortage of nonprofit organizations that strive to make the community a better place. One local organization recently celebrated a major milestone. On the evening of Friday, September 12th, members of the Knights of Columbus Council 4764, named in honor of Father Thomas R. Carey, gathered at Canterbury Castle to celebrate the organization's 65th anniversary.
We've been serving the community in this area for 65 years. We're everything from flood relief when there was there, coats for kids for in the wintertime, all those type of things. Our main thing that we've had over the last, I'd say 65 years, has been our annual Tootsie Roll drive for mentally impaired children. Guesstimate, we probably raised over $500,000 in 65 years.
Knights of Columbus roots can be traced back to 1881 when Father Michael J. McGivney convened a meeting of Catholic men at St. Mary's Church in New Haven, Connecticut. Today, the organization is made up of 1.6 million members in 11,000 councils in the U.S., Canada, and the other parts of the world. Council 4764, which includes Lake Orion, was granted a charter in April of 1959.
Knights of Columbus are made of young men of the Catholic faith, and they can be from start age 18 to people 70s or 80s like me. If you're a young Catholic gentleman and you go to either St. Joe's Parish or belong to a member of Christ Redeemer, come by, see us, see what we do, see what we've done for 65 years. And now we need your help to go to the future to see what we can do better.
Jim Robach joined the council 15 years ago. He was named Knight of the Year for 2024 to 2025.
It was an honor because I did a lot of work this year with the Tootsie Roll Drive, to provide money for the mentally challenged people. I provide the leadership for the Eucharist we have every other month at the church. So I'm always involved with everything. So to help the community, which is the main thing, we want to give back to the community and to the churches. And and I think that's the whole thing about leaving a legacy, leaving an imprint on the earth. It's fantastic. We're here for a short time in life. Make the best of it.
If you're interested in getting involved with the efforts of the Knights of Columbus Council 4764, visit kfclakeorion.com for contact information. Recently, the Orion Veterans Memorial was the site of a ceremony to observe the 24th anniversary of the tragic events that took place on September 11th, 2001. Now known as Patriot Day, the Lake Orion community now gathers to remember those who lost their lives on that day and to honor the first responders who rushed toward danger. Here are some of the highlights.
I want you to look around to the back of you there and you'll see the first responders. Those first responders back there when you call them to help out, they never stop in your front yard and say, are you Democrat, are you Republican, are you Christian, are you Muslim? They come in and help you. That day, 343 firefighters went up into them towers, and as everybody knows, there were 78 different nations that was represented there. And they didn't go in, Chief, I'm just going to go get the Christians, or Chief, I'm just going to get the Democrats. They went in and got everybody that they could and helped out. We got to come back together, people.
On September 11th, 2001 was a date that rocked the world, an unprovoked attack on the United States of America. For most people on the East Coast, they were just starting their workday on a crystal clear Tuesday morning. Many people in other time zones were watching the morning news, having their coffee, or still in bed when the hijackers took control of 4 civilian aircraft and used them as weapons to topple the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. Crash and explode into the Pentagon and hoped to destroy the Capitol or White House before passengers on United Flight 93 heroically brought the plane crashing into the ground in western Pennsylvania. A total of nearly 3,000 people lost their lives that day. This morning, like many of you, I stood in silence at 8:46 and 9:03 in honor of those people who lost their lives.
So, Father, may we be given courage for the people that believe the world is spinning out of control, that believe that this is the end. May they see us with calm assurance that we can pull together, that we can be a people united for justice and freedom and peace, that we would be willing to pay the price to be called cowards or weak, just to make sure that our neighbor knows they're going to be okay, regardless of who our neighbor is. Give us the strength and the wisdom to do that this day and the days to come. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Just a few days later, on Monday, September 15th, the staff of KT's Mobile Dog Grooming rolled up to the Orion Veterans Memorial to present a check for $200 to Park Manager Bob Watros and Army veteran Randy Stetson to be used for the care and maintenance of the memorial.
Well, born and raised in Lake Orion here, I love to give back to the community. This community takes very good care of me, so anything that I can give back is something that I enjoy doing.
This is the way we built this memorial, with individuals mostly who gave this kind of money, and that's why it took us so long to build it. It's a 25-year project, and it was built in pieces, but if you look at it, it doesn't look like it was pieced together, but it really was. The last thing we did was the Victory Garden over here, The time before that, it was the War Dogs. I think we're considered done now, but still it costs a lot of money to maintain this place. Everything's expensive anymore. We got water bills, electric bills, insurance bills, just like you got at your house.
Dignitaries and veterans gathered on Memorial Day in 1996 to break ground on the property that would become the site of the Orion Veterans Memorial. Over the next 3 decades, the memorial has become a community gathering place, hosting events on Patriot Day and Memorial Day, and has even been the site of a wedding in 2017.
I think the memorial is important to bring people together, especially in the times that we're living in right now. Bring the community close and remember what the veterans have done for us and for this country.
It means a lot to a lot of people for different reasons. And it's a lot of sentimental stuff that goes on out there. They like to tell their story. If you'll listen to it, they'll tell you a story. And they're all good stories.
The community is invited to come to the Veterans Memorial on the Pier Road on Saturday, October 4th, beginning at 10 a.m. to enjoy coffee, cider, and donuts with a vet, followed by a flag retirement ceremony at noon, where worn and tattered flags will be burned. If you have an old flag that needs a proper retirement, bring it to the Veterans Memorial on October 4th. For more information, visit OrionVeteransMemorial.com. The Lake Orion Lions Club holds fundraisers throughout the year to help them serve the community. Recently, the organization hosted an event that attracted car buffs from all over, and our own Joey Tysick was there.
On the morning of Sunday, August 31st, the Lake Orion Lions Club hosted their second annual charity car show on the scenic grounds of Canterbury Village. Over 130 cruisers showed up for the event, paying a registration fee and taking part in raffles to support the organization.
Well, it's a fundraiser, so we always need we need money to support our causes and the different things we do in the community. So this was one of many that we do. We were lucky this year. Skalnick Ford sponsored us this year, so thank you, Skalnick. They also did you could do test drives with the Ford product, so they had Ford vehicles here with the salesperson, and you could learn all about the new Ford vehicles, and they were our primary sponsor.
The Lake Orion Lions Club has been serving the community since 1938. Money raised from the car show helps the organization support causes like Bear Lake Youth Camp for the visually impaired, Leader Dogs for the blind, and Project KidSite, to name a few. And the Lions Club is already gearing up for the holiday season.
Sure. Well, the big thing coming up, unfortunately, summer's ending, so Christmas and the holidays are coming up. So we're thinking basket programs. So November 1st, we have our basket auction event. And you can come out and get tickets. Those are available online already. And then we have the basket program where we actually hand out food baskets, which are 2 weeks worth of food to people in need.
With attendance up over last year's event, the Lions Club will continue to host the car show every year over Labor Day weekend. For more information or to support the organization, visit LakeOrionLions.org. You can also find them on Facebook. At Canterbury Village, I'm Joey Tysick, reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joey. Well, the Lake Orion Dragons varsity football team has had trouble notching their first win of the season. Recently, the Dragons hosted the visiting West Bloomfield Lakers, but before that game kicked off, the women took to the field for a flag football game. ONTV's Joe Johnson was there on the sidelines for both games and brings us the highlights.
On Friday, September 19th, Lake Orion's girls flag football team hosted the Avondale Yellow Jackets in the second week of a pilot fall season. The Dragons kicked off the season at Waterford Kettering High School on September 12th and came away with a win. Could they keep it going in the home opener? Early on, the Dragons had the ball on their own 37-yard line. Madison Clues is in at quarterback. She takes the snap, hands it off to Lillian Cox, who goes left, evades multiple tackles, and finds the end zone. 43 yards for the first TD of the game. The extra point was good, and the Dragons take the early lead, 7-0. The Yellow Jackets try to answer. On 2nd and 10 near midfield, quarterback Kanaya Rowe takes the snap and throws it into a crowd. The Dragons' Kelsey King picks it off at the 26 and takes it all the way back, just barely getting into the end zone before her flag is pulled. Up pick 6. The extra point was good, and the Dragons are up 14-0. On the Dragons' next possession, Allie Thompson is in at quarterback and faces a 2nd and 10 on Avondale's 24-yard line. She takes the snap, hands off to Lillian Cox, who goes left, turns on the Jets, and finds the end zone. The extra point was good, and the Dragons take a 3-touchdown lead, 21-0. With the first half running down, the Yellow Jackets desperately need a score. With the ball on the Dragons' 11-yard line, Mylan Holland is in at quarterback. She takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and hits Sydney Banks for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion attempt is no good, and the half ends with the Dragons leading 21-6. In the second half, Avondale has the ball on their own 9-yard line. Holland pulls down a high snap and throws up a jump ball. It's snagged by the Dragons' Gianna Mascarella and goes the other way for the touchdown. Sailor Papadelis makes a great catch for the extra point, and the Dragons take a commanding lead, 28-6. With 9:20 left in the game, the Dragons have the ball on the Yellow Jackets' 15. Papadelis takes the handoff, dodges tacklers, and tries to bulldoze her way into the end zone, but her flag is pulled just shy of the goal line. 2 plays later, Maya Patel is in at quarterback. She hits Reagan Zale in the end zone for the short TD. The PAT was good, and the Dragons are up 35-6. The Dragons tacked on 2 more scores to make the final score 47-6. What an impressive victory. I caught up with the co-head coaches after the game.
First of all, how do you select the team? What's the process?
We started out with over about 60 girls coming out for the team. Then we had 3 days of tryouts. We ran through a combine of both physical skills and also skill work, and we narrowed it down to 40.
Okay. Now, I was told there's a spring league, so this is is an experimental fall league?
Yeah, so right now, a lot of the 6 schools that are participating right here in the fall, we're trialing this season. When you take a look at opportunities for a lot of our girl athletes up at the high school, the fall is lacking for a lot of opportunities for them. So by adding this really gives them a chance to come out and show their skills, especially on a Friday night in Lake Orion. Can't beat it.
The fall season, the athlete that you're able to get, the multi-sport athlete, is just tremendous. You're tapping into your soccer players, your lacrosse players, your girls who track runners, softball players, and also the girls that don't have a sport, this then becomes their sport. And it's just what a tremendous opportunity to bring all those athletes together and really showcase women's athletics.
So who ultimately makes that decisions at the OAA?
I think that will come down between the OAA if they continue the fall pilot season, and then eventually the MHSAA as they continue to determine any additional sports into the future.
Awesome. That's great. Anything else? What can you say about these girls coming out here and playing?
All I know is that when we started, we took a poll. How many of you have played football before? And we had 40 girls who had never played football before. And just watching how much they've grown in 2 weeks, 6 practices, is incredible. I've coached different teams before, but every day these girls are locked in, they're ready to go. It's really a pleasure being out there with them.
Here come your Lake Orion Dragons.
Following the entertaining flag football game, the Dragons varsity football team took to the field to face the undefeated West Bloomfield Lakers. Could the Dragons notch their first win of the season? Let's find out. Things got off to a rough start for the Dragons when the Lakers' Obi Duru fields the kickoff inside the 20. He skirts the left sideline and outraces defenders, but is tripped up at the 7-yard line by Max Nearing. On 1st and goal, Jamal Shakespeare is in the Wildcat. He takes the snap and plows through multiple defenders to reach the end zone. The Bryce Coburn PAT was good, and the Lakers take a 7-0 lead just 20 seconds into the game. Following a turnover on downs, the Lakers have a 1st and 10 on Lake Orion's 33. Quarterback Jackson Carver mishandles the snap. Number 35, Alex Hensley, falls onto it to give the Dragons the ball and a new drive. On 1st and 10, senior Brody Thompson is in shotgun. He takes the snap, tucks it away, finds a hole, and goes 16 yards before getting tackled. On 2nd and 6 from the 30, Thompson is under center. He hands off to Don Hawkins Jr., who is tackled just shy of the goal line. On 1st and goal, Thompson's quarterback keeper results in 6 points. The PAT was good, and the Dragons tied things up at 7 with 5:48 left in the first. With 7:30 left in the second, a Sam Powers field goal gives the Dragons a 10-7 lead. Facing a 1st and 10 at the Dragons' 44, Carver is under center. He hands off to Will Espy, who goes right up the middle and scampers 44 yards into the end zone to regain the lead. The PAT was no good, 13-10 Lakers. With 9:33 left in the first half, the Lakers have a 1st and 10 on their own 41. Carver is under center. He drops back and hits Willie Edwards, who races down the sideline and is taken down at the 10 for a 49-yard gain. On 2nd and 1, Shakespeare bounces it to the right, and he goes in for the score. The PAT was good, and the Lakers are up 20-10 with 8:35 left in the half. Facing a 4th and 10, the Dragons are forced to punt from their own 19-yard line. Fielded by Khalik Robinson at the 45, he runs laterally to the opposite side of the field and then outraces defenders along the sideline into the end zone. The extra point was no good, but the Lakers extend their lead 26-10 with 6:48 left in the third. A 1-yard Shakespeare TD made the score 33-10 in the third. On the final play of the game, Anderson Adams is under center for the Dragons. He takes it in himself to make the final score 33-16 in favor of the Lakers. West Bloomfield improves to 4-0 while the Dragons fall to 0-4. We caught up with Dragons head coach Chris Bell after the game.
Yeah, we had so many opportunities in the first half. I thought we moved the ball well. But to only come away with 10 points in the first half, I mean, we should have been in the 20s, and that really would have put pressure on them. I thought our defense played well. They gave us many opportunities. Just turnovers, missed assignments, we missed a field goal. Against a team like that, you got to cash in on those and really put pressure on those guys. In the second half, they came out and they just took it to us. We had a hard time getting their linebackers. They made it tough sledding in there, and then we kept shooting ourselves. It's hard to see, but some missed assignments, some exchange issues, just things that can't happen, controllable things that we just have to clean up. So we're getting there. I mean, we're close. I just feel like we're a couple weeks behind, and that happens when you're inexperienced, and we've had some new guys in there with our injuries, but we just have to accelerate this thing and get better, bottom line.
The Dragons stay at home on Friday, September 26th to host their crosstown rivals, the Oxford Wildcats, in the battle for the 00 trophy. Arrive early to watch the flag football team take on Troy Athens. From Dragon Stadium, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV Sports.
Thanks, Joe. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the hardworking ONTV News team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Thanks for watching.